Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been away for a super long time. I have an explanation. It's just that my writer/editor quit and I just haven't been able to find someone to edit my videos. And since I've started my new big girl law office job, I don't really have time to be making videos from scratch anymore. So let me know if you are interested in the job. Honestly, I may need to make an update video on where I've been and all, but you can also follow me on Instagram to keep up. But today is different. I woke up from my nap at 3 a.m., as one does, to over 10 TikToks being posted from Brooke Schofield about her ex, Clinton Kane. And I was so here for it. So I just had to grab my laptop and start working on this video immediately. And yes, it's currently 5:30 a.m. I don't know what my life is anymore. But first of all, I need to give a really quick recap on Clinton Kane. Okay, so Clinton Kane is an allegedly Australian singer, and I say allegedly because he's literally been lying to the entire world about who he is, and get this, that his entire freaking family is not only dead, but died in the exact same year. Yes, I'm not kidding you. He's been going around telling both the internet and people in his private life that one, he's Australian and he's out here talking with a fake Australian accent, which sometimes he slips up and forgets about, and two, that his mom, dad, and brother all died in the same year. Literally half his music up until a certain point were apparently about his mom. It was this whole thing.
Your mom passed?
Yeah.
Your brother passed?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad passed?
1 year, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. Chicken Tendies is actually about losing my mom. And I had a talk with my publicist about explaining how to explain, because I wasn't ready to talk about it yet last year, about like losing my mom. But she passed away like 2-3 weeks after the song came out, after Chicken Tendies came out. That's why like I had to take a break, and it was like a lot of start and stopping.
You did kind of lose her before she was gone, right? Because you didn't have much of a relationship with her.
No, it was all gone. But it was already complicated before. So there's a lot to fucking unpack there, yeah. Yeah, there's 4 songs on the album about my mom.
Now, Brooke and Clinton dated for a while up until 2 years ago, and Brooke was not safeguarded from Clinton's lies. He would tell her all of these lies and more, which we'll get into. Now, you're probably wondering why Brooke is talking about all of this now, that it's been 2 years. That is because Clinton has been obsessively posting on TikTok to promote his new music and has been grasping at straws. First and foremost, he posted this like a month ago.
It's time that I finally address all of the rumors. The song comes out next Friday.
But then proceeded to play his song and address absolutely nothing. But then, just today, he had the audacity to post this.
Hearts don't feel, even if we love so hard, we know there's no coming back.
Now, I feel like you really have to be so audacious to be in a relationship with someone, lie to them about literally every single detail of your life, including your accent, and then be all surprised Pikachu face when they are traumatized for life. But maybe that's just me. And also, like, this TikTok makes zero sense. Are you telling Brooke that you don't want to live in a world without her? Like, what's happening? Sound off in the comments down below if you get it. Both Tana and Brooke responded to this TikTok. Tana just responded with this TikTok in absolute shock of the audacity, which, like, same. One person commented, "I bet his parents are proud and alive." And now let's get into the meat of this video. Brooke's 13-part response, which she hilariously titled, "Who the F Did I Marry?" after that one TikToker who posted like a 90-part crazy series about another pathological liar. What is up with men?
Now, I get a lot of comments about his appearance and the way he shakes, okay? And those are 2 things that I'm gonna leave off limits for my story time because I feel like that's low-hanging fruit and it's obvious it doesn't even need to be addressed.
This is said appearance and this is said shaking. Enough said about that.
Believe it or not, that was not even really the problem.
Brooke said that she started dating Clinton only because she was a fan of his music. This was during the time of her life where she was unmedicated, so she gave that disclaimer, but she wasn't even interested in him like that. She just randomly got a DM from him one day. She responds and he asks her out for dinner and offers to fly her out to Vegas. Brooke takes one glance at his profile and says no. He persists by DMing her for a few months by, quote, obsessively DMing her, and she rejects him every single time. Until one day, he finally invites her to his LA show. She accepts because obviously she was a fan of his music, but purposely wears an ugly outfit so he gets no ideas.
It's amazing, okay? He was amazing. I don't know what's happened since then, but he was slaying at the time.
After the show, they hang out a bit and they hit it off.
And I'm gonna tell you guys something that you might not believe, but he looked really good, honestly. He was way taller than I thought, and he had a really cool outfit on, and I was like, you know what? He's not as bad as I thought he was.
He invites her to another show the day after, and she goes again. This time they go to a club together after, and then they go to a diner for hours and they just talk. This is when he tells her about his story and his entire family passing the year prior.
Holy shit, first of all. And I feel like I completely changed my opinion about him, because I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking he's just like this weirdo sliding into my DMs, and now he's very like human to me, because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe you could overcome something like that. Like, that's insane.
He also told her other unconfirmed stories, like he was homeless in Europe at some point and sleeping on a bench, even though he also said he was super wealthy growing up in Australia. Like, I don't know, the lies aren't adding up over here. They go on a date the next day again, but then the day after he tells her that he tested positive for COVID. This was obviously peak COVID, so he's quarantining in a hotel and offers for her to stay with him, so she accepts. They quarantine together for a while.
Keep in mind, we are not separating, so I have no opportunity to view his online presence, all right? Because that is another really important factor to the story, because had I seen the shaking that was occurring, I might have thought differently.
He's like playing music for her this whole time and charming her and love bombing her, so she ends up falling for him. They move to an Airbnb after, but then the toxicity starts. He would never let her be alone, which in hindsight is a red flag, but at the time she was charmed by it. She also calls out Zach Sang for always being in her ear, pushing her to date Clinton.
I would have these people in my ear like, Brooke, if you do not date this man, you are so stupid. Like, first of all, he's gonna be huge. He's so talented. He's so special. He has like the most amazing story. Like, you have to date him, okay? And one thing about me is I'm easily influenced. So I start dating the man.
So they're now in a relationship. They go on a trip together, and there was an instance where he gets pulled over and the cop reading his license is reciting his information back to him and reads his birth year to be 1999, even though he told her that he was 2 years older. He tells her it's a fake ID.
And I'm in my head like, that doesn't happen, but whatever. Also, who has a fake ID to appear younger?
On this trip is where they had their first huge fight. And it was literally because she was looking at her phone over dinner. Mind you, they had been physically together for weeks now, 24 hours a day.
This is when he proceeded to tell me it's a major trigger of his for someone to not pay 100% attention to him at dinner time, because that's what his mom used to do to him. And his mom was very neglectful. He had a horrible relationship with her, and it was really traumatic. Obviously, everything is unresolved since she has died. And so anything that reminds him of his mother is a no, okay? And he went insane. I tell you, I have never seen a man like just pout and throw like a literal tantrum this way. I was like, how do I undo? I cannot be in a relationship with this man.
They would fight all the time, and the common theme was that she was, quote, worsening his trauma, and there was nothing Brooke could do when he was throwing a tantrum but apologize to him.
And he can't believe that I'm so insensitive to everything that he has been through. I remind him so much of his mother, who was so horrible to him, and I should be way more sensitive to everything that he is going through.
So, like, what can she even say in response to that?
But it became a situation where I felt like I was like mothering this man, and like if I did anything wrong, or if I like literally split my attention for even 1 second, he went ballistic because he was like a little infant baby child.
He would do stuff like texting her when she was at dinner with friends, saying he's been drinking and going to drive, like crazy stuff like that. She then talks about Clinton having gone on the Zach Sang show, where he talks about his family situation. She then posts her first TikTok with Clinton in it and starts getting comments under it of people being like, be careful girl, he cheated on his ex with multiple girls. This is while Clinton had told her that she had cheated on him. Brooke asks him about this and he's just like, yep, I cheated.
What I realized when I really looked into it is I was one of the girls. Because, like I said, He has been messaging me constantly for the last year, like literally sliding up on every single story I post trying to fly me out. When he tried to fly me out to dinner that time, they were actively in a relationship.
But he was this master manipulator, so he managed to make this story sound less bad. And so she just got over it. But then there was an instance where Brooke caught Clinton talking to his manager on the phone, telling him to get the Zach Sang episode taken down at all costs. This alarms Brooke because she's like, why? So she goes on the YouTube interview and starts reading the comments.
And in the comments, I see someone write, "This is really strange. I don't know where this Australian accent came from. He is not Australian. He is from Brunei. I grew up with him. I went to school with him. And I saw his mom last week."
She was distraught. Like, how do you even act at this point? And in the back of her head, she was so obsessed with him that she half wanted to not talk to him about it because it meant that she had to break up with him. But she ends up texting him saying, "I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell me anything you have lied about." He responds saying, "I lied about my age. That's it." And here's an interview I found about this, by the way.
I found out yesterday that my boyfriend, who I had been, he just told me like very casually, like, "Oh, I'm actually 2 years younger than I said."
Whoa.
I'm like, what?
What?
He said he's going to be so mad at me for saying this, but he said he was 24. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, because I don't think I would have dated someone younger than me if I knew.
Me either. I can't do that. Been together for 3 months though, and he's kept this?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And worse than that, Grace, he showed me his ID, and it was a fake ID. Honestly, that would have been like off-putting for me in the beginning. Now, of course, it doesn't matter because I know him, and like I don't care, but maybe in the beginning I would have been like, oh, I could never. I have a accent faking problem right now. So my boyfriend's Australian,
yeah.
And so I'm Australian too when I'm with him.
Obviously. Yes, of course.
Brooke looks his mom up on Facebook and finds 2 accounts for her. The mom hadn't posted anything on either account from the date of her alleged death, so there was that. But he, for some reason, had been telling Brooke that his mom was Norwegian and blonde and that he grew up in this huge house in Australia. But this Facebook profile exposed all of his lies.
I can see the house that he grew up in Brunei, by the way, not at all in Australia. Keep in mind, I live with this man and he has a fucking Australian accent. His mom is obviously Asian, as is he, which, like, why would you lie about that? It's such a strange thing to lie about. Everything was fake. While I can't immediately tell that she is alive, I can tell that he is a extreme pathological liar.
She confronts him about everything, but obviously at this point, there's no evidence of his mom being alive, so he gaslights her and starts playing the victim and goes on about how she could ever imply he's lying about the death of his mother. However could he do that? So she stayed with him. Yep, you heard that right, but she still had her doubts and started looking at him differently from now on. So they're together, they fight all the time goes on, she finds out that he's cheating on her with multiple people, which, funny enough, is the reason why they broke up.
But what's interesting about that is we broke up because I accused him of cheating and he couldn't believe I would ever have the nerve. He was fully cheating on me.
So it wasn't the fact that he faked an Australian accent their entire relationship. It was that she accused him of cheating when he was. Throughout this breakup is when she brings up the mom thing back up again. She straight up asks him this time, "Why did you fake the death of your family?" He, of course, denies it. Brooke lies and tells him that she's been talking to his mother, which is what finally breaks him.
He finally admitted that he did, in fact, fake the death of his mom and his brother. His dad is dead. There's 1 out of 3 that are dead. The rest are still kicking. So I guess it's like a positive. If you think about all his songs about how he like just wishes he could talk to his mom one more time, it's like, call her.
And that's that on that. And the craziest part is that I go on his page and all of his comments are super supportive and people obsessing over his music. And I'm like, what is happening? I thought everybody's been knowing about this guy's pathological ass. And then I realize he is, of course, deleting comments. Not only is he deleting comments right now as we speak, but he's been deleting comments for the past 2 years. Because when I tell you there is no single mention of his, quote, dead mom in any of his TikTok comments, it's eerie. Like, this lie has been taking over his entire life. So the moral of the story is, please treat your underlying mental health condition so you don't let people like Clinton Kane walk all over you. Thank you for watching.